Welcome to the Boss Lounge, where business and entertainment connects. I'm your host, Tony DeDozier, and I am here with Vonee Hill. She is the CEO and founder of Own Your Vision Empowerment Co., and she's going to tell us more about her business.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Tonya.
Hi.
Thanks for having me. Yes, my name is Vonee Hill. I'm the founder and CEO of Own Your Vision Empowerment Co., which is a family empowerment organization based in Philadelphia, PA. We focus on uplifting the family, but our focus is mainly on the root of the family. So that is the mother, the wife, the woman who's in the home. We work on professional and personal development.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for coming into the Boss Lounge with me today.
Thank you.
I'm excited to learn more. I'm sure our viewers are excited too.
Yeah.
So tell us more. How did you get started with your organization?
So I got started because I just wanted something for myself.
Okay.
Basically, I wanted to be able to reach families. I am a full-time social worker by day, and so that it really is a passion of mine. Ensuring that families are safe, but also wanting to provide outlets for them to have family and quality time together. So that's really how Own Your Vision started. But then I started to get a whole bunch of questions from moms and women, like, how do you do everything that you do? Because at one point I was in school for my master's, working 9 to 5, doing OIV, wife, mom, just had a whole bunch of stuff going on. So a lot of women started to ask me, how in the world is it that you do what you do? So that's something that I felt like was a passion as well, being able to connect with women, connect with mothers who wanted to start a business but maybe didn't know how, or just kind of empowering them to go ahead and go for it, because we face a lot of guilt sometimes with being able to do something for just us. So that's how those two things got intertwined under OIV.
Okay, look at you. So I know that you mentioned moms. Do you work with fathers?
Yes. So I want to start something with fathers. So my husband is like, you need to just focus on one population at a time. So there is going to be a point in time where I do start groups for fathers.
Okay.
My wheels have been spinning, but I just wanted to get OIV off the ground, focus on the moms for now, and there will definitely be something for fathers. But our family events are open to mothers and fathers as well. So we love to have fathers come out and connect as well.
Okay. So tell me more about the services. Give me a little bit more details about the services that you offer with your organization.
Okay. So we do, like I said, the family events. So we cater to everybody in the family. We want parents to come out, grandparents, godparents, things like that. So we have an event that's coming up in February. It's called My First Love Family Soiree.
Aww.
So a dinner and cocktail dance for families and, the children and their families. And so we try to do a few of those events quarterly that include the whole family. And then for our moms, we have our monthly meetups. And so we go to different restaurants or coffee shops where we talk about different topics having to do with motherhood and womanhood as well. And so that's something that we are starting up again in January. We kind of dialed it back for the holiday season right now because there's a lot going on. And we kind of wanted to get some feedback from the mothers of, what kind of topics they want to talk about, what would be best for them as far as having childcare and all those things, because we want everybody to be included. We don't want you to feel like, you can't attend if somebody, if you don't have a sitter, and because we're moms too, we get it. So we want to make sure that we're hearing from our moms and that we're being supportive and inclusive. And so we definitely have some things that are coming up as well in the next portion of our year.
Okay.
And we have our yearly Career Moms Empowerment Socials. So September 2020 will be our 3rd annual one. So I'm really excited about that in the planning phases. And so that event has been very successful. It brings together women who want to build their businesses or who just work 9 to 5s and just want to connect and, see other moms who are building business or starting a business because they may be thinking about it, or they just want to come out and be around different moms. So we always have mommy juice of some sort.
All right. Nothing wrong some mommy
yes,
juice.
Okay, so we have mommy juice, but we have speakers, we have food, we have vendors, so it really is a good time. So next year we're trying to do it even bigger for our third year. So that's something that we're going to continue to do.
They say third time's the charm.
Yes.
And it sounds like a good event. I need to make sure I'm going to give me some mommy juice. Good. Well, that's exciting. And you said you're in the planning stages of that event. Okay. Yes. Good. Well, I will make sure I keep my eye out so that I can spread the word so that I can go.
Okay. Yes, we'll be excited to have you.
Yes. So tell me, do you have any specific requirements for women to be serviced with your organization?
No, there's no requirements. And so I want to do things that are catered to women as a whole as well.
Okay.
Because I know that some of the things we do, I get a lot of questions of, can I come even though I'm not a mom? Yes, you absolutely can. I did do the moms meetup specifically for mothers because that's a different lens, and sometimes moms just need other moms. But as far as like the Career Moms Empowerment Social, absolutely, I tell women all the time. That's what I named it because that's what I felt in my heart at first. But I do realize, there's a lot of women out there. So when we advertise it, we make sure to say, even if you're an aspiring mom and you want to open a business one day or something like that, because I want everybody to understand, like, you are able to come. So there are things in the works that will include, women, so that, they don't nobody feels like there's nothing that they can do within the organization. So wheels are spinning for the next couple of years. I've been sitting with my strategic planner to come up with different things for the next few years. So
that's good. Yeah. Good. And a key thing that I just heard you say is a strategic planner. So it lets me know that you mean business.
Yes.
So that's good. That's good.
Yes.
So tell me, what areas do you service?
So, meaning
like, is it just in Philadelphia? Okay. Do you go out to other states and cities? Or
So I would like to branch out. I think that's something that can come over the next couple of years. And somebody actually did say something the other day. She wanted to know if we were going to bring the moms group to Jersey.
Ooh.
And so I said to her, okay, that's a possibility. I think it's just, we kind of let fear stop us from doing certain things, and we kind of have to step out of our comfort zone. So it's being requested. It's definitely being requested to venture outside of Philly. So it's something that is definitely possible very soon. Yes.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got Jersey, then maybe you'll come over to DC.
Yeah. I love that you take your Cupcakes and Conversation on the road, and that's something that I've been like, wow, I want to be able to do that one day.
Thank you.
Definitely something that's possible.
It's possible. I think that with traveling and branching out, it's a little bit of extra hard work, but it'll be worth it, especially if you have your audience calling for you to be in other places.
Right.
So kudos to you. Look at you. Building your platform and expanding out and traveling.
Yeah.
That's good.
Thank you.
That's great. Okay, so tell me, what are like the main things that moms and women come to you for in regards to your organization? Is it anything in particular that you really do a lot of over one versus the other?
So I find that social media marketing is a big deal. So that is something that people are like, oh my God, I see you post it all the time. Yes, I am on the phone all the time. When my phone is in my hand, I'm likely working. And it's because when I hear different things from other speakers or from an event that I went to, or, so anything that I'm reading, I like to make sure that I'm passing on good information. So I will always put it in a motivational post. Okay. And that I know is something that people look for on my page, because that's really how it started. Like the Instagram page started was with motivational quotes and things like that. And so that is something that people, I know for sure, come to the page to look for, is the motivation. And so I try to make sure that that is a constant thing and that doesn't get lost, even if maybe I'm not in planning mode for an event or anything like that. I still make sure that the motivation part of everything is still there. Another thing is people, have come to me to ask, how did I how was I able to start a business, doing multiple things. And I just let them know it takes a lot of time management, several calendars, highlighters, sticky notes. The office supply store needs to be your best friend when it comes to that, because you want to invest your time and you want to invest your money properly, but you don't want anything to falter. So you're not going to be able to give everything the same percentage all the time, but you want to make sure that you're planning properly. And so that's what I always tell people, a lot about time management. And a lot of women speak to me about, like I said earlier, feeling guilty about taking time away from their children and family. And that's something that I've gone through too, personally. And my son is 5 now. And he'd be like, Mommy, you still working? Aww. And, before I used to just feel like, oh gosh, I'm like horrible for still working. Or, my husband will be like, all right, this is taking up too much of your time. So I have definitely learned how to manage time better. Okay. And that's something that women do ask me about and how to do it. And so that's a lot of what our communication is about.
Okay. Okay. Now, do you find yourself sometimes doing more of coaching?
Not necessarily coaching. I like to think of it as, I guess it would be coaching. I guess it would be. I guess the word I use is more motivation in a sense, but I guess coaching would definitely make sense. Giving different strategies on how to do things. Especially like if you look at my calendar, it's different colors everywhere. My budget is in there for my bills. I try to be very strategic in how I plan out my time, and what type of time I give to everything. And so I used to be guilty of bringing my 9-to-5 job home. And so that's something that I just can't do anymore. Right. And if I do it, it's very slight. I make sure that I don't invest too much time in that, especially on the weekends. So during the day, my phone is pretty much, it's not off because I do have to do some business throughout the day with OIV. But while I'm at work, I make sure I focus on work. Okay. So that when I leave, I'm able to focus on OIV for a couple hours in the evening, and then dedicate some time to it on the weekends. But my family, gets the time that they need as well.
Good. And I think that's important when you're having a business and a 9-to-5. Right. I think in today's time, when we talk about entrepreneurship, we talk about the business realm. Everybody is so focused on, I quit my job to do my business. But on the flip side, you have people like myself, like you, like other business women, we need that 9-to-5. Right. We need that 9-to-5, but then it comes into where you have to balance. Right. And I think that you being able to balance being a social worker and having your business is a big deal, because I'm sure your 9-to-5 is very challenging. Right. Especially, depending on what you're doing in your field. So kudos to you. Thank you. I know it's hard, but you're doing it.
Yes, that's why, I make sure that I have these events and, different workshops. I also have set, goals for myself because I want to do more public speaking. Okay. And so that's something that I'm 4 out of 5 of my goal. So I'm excited about that. Good. But those are the things that I look forward to. My 9-to-5 is strenuous. It has its definitely has its rewards, but there are definitely some hard times. But I definitely look forward to OIV, and that's what I tell a lot of women. Kind of making sure that your passion aligns with what you're trying to create with your business, because I've gone through trying to do nails, trying to do hair, just stuff just starting and flopping because I wasn't tapping into what I was passionate about. And when I realized, I think I was so pressed on trying to get out of social work and trying to get out of child welfare, I was like, but that really is my passion. Families and women, that's really what I do. I work with mothers, fathers as well, all day, every day. And when I talk to them, I really try to motivate and coach them throughout my time with them. And so that really is something that that's really heartfelt to me. And so when I was able to realize that and really figure out, okay, this is what your passion is, this is what you need to start your business in, everything aligned, and it just took off. It really did.
Good. Yeah. That's good. And I think that's important that you realize what your passion is and what you need to align for your business to skyrocket, because like you said before, you were dibbling dabbling in some of everything that wasn't really your passion. And so that's good to know that you identified your purpose, passion, and that your business is taking off.
Right. Yeah.
That's really good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Because I have to say that because it's hard, you know, and a lot of people get discouraged when they can't align themselves. So congratulations again.
Thank you.
So you mentioned that your organization focuses on families, mommies, and women. Tell me more about the services that you provide for families as an entity.
Okay, so for families, so we, like I said, we do the family events. That's what we do. We are working on, and I'm going to just preface by saying it's going to take about another year. Because we are putting our all into it and want to make sure that we do this correctly. We are starting a mentorship program for girls and teens. So somebody is working behind the scenes. That's my girl. She is quiet, but she is on fire. Okay, she is doing everything. But we want to make sure that the mentoring program is something that is done right. So we want to make sure the mission is correct, and it's going to focus on some young entrepreneurship. So it's going to start off with girls, and then hopefully be able to broaden to boys as well. But we want the parents to be involved in things like that. There's also some other things that we have coming up. We want to do a community service day with children and their parents, probably feeding the homeless. So that's something we're working on for early 2020. We also, Father's Day is, so Mother's Day is coming. We want to celebrate Mother's Day, but then Father's Day is coming too. So we want to do something for Father's Day. Hopefully some type of field and track day and barbecue and things like that for the dads to be on the grill with the kids. So that's something that we're working on as well, because we want to make sure that we are inclusive of the family.
Good. And that's good to know, just because you don't see a lot of images in regards to supporting families doing things together. It's always Working Women Wednesday or Man Crush Monday. You know, you're not seeing a lot of the families coming together and doing things. So that's good that you are encouraging that. I think that's greatly needed. And they say teamwork makes the dream work. So that's good.
And for the holidays, I know for last year, this was a big hit for Christmas. People that I would follow that I know personally and have met professionally, like when they take family photos for Christmas, they're gorgeous photos. So I just want to make sure, I just want to share those moments, you know, on our OYV page, and, you know, let people know, you know, building a family is tough. And that, it doesn't matter what your family looks like. It's not like, it doesn't have to be a nuclear family, mom, father, 2 kids, and a dog. Whatever your family dynamic is, we want to make sure that we're honing in on that and providing support in any way that we can. So I'd love to be able to share those types of moments and pictures on the OYV page. So Christmas is going to be, that time is going to be filled with pictures.
And Christmas is, to me, a very big family holiday. So that's perfect. Perfect. So earlier you mentioned about outlets. Tell me more about the outlets that you provide and your resources that you provide through your organization.
So we are, I want to start a directory for like food pantries. And so we have somebody that is working on that as well, to be able to put that on the website. So different food, like I said, food pantries for clothing and things like that. And so the place where I work, we also do book giveaways, and we do book bag giveaways, holiday Thanksgiving baskets, coats, and all that stuff. And so sometimes there's like stuff that may be extra that I can, you know, kind of request to say, hey, you know, my organization, I would like to be able to pass these out to families. So I've been able to do the book collection, and that's something that was really important to me too, like for kids and reading and things like that. So for my First Love event, the goodie bags that I go to the kids, they'll have books in them. And so that is something that I've been going around collecting books. And like my son's school, they did a book giveaway, and there were all these books left over. And I just kind of put a bug in somebody's ear, like, hey, you know, what are you doing with all these books? What are you doing with these extra books? And I didn't think it went anywhere, but somebody came to me a couple of days later and was like, I heard you were asking about the books. Here, you can have them. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And so we want to just make sure that we are able to provide whatever resources we can give. Also looking into a 501c3 so that we can be able to get, bigger donations and be able to do a back to school drive, have our own coat giveaways and things like that. So that's really something that I'm focusing on as well. I wanted to make sure the organization was able to, withstand the growth, the initial growth, and then be able to, go forward and try to get more resources.
Nice. So tell me more about the feedback that you get with your organization when you do your events and you have your resources. What kind of feedback are you getting from those who are involved?
So when we do our Career Moms Empowerment Social, we get a lot of positive feedback about the speakers that come. So the first year it was just one speaker that came.
Okay.
And she did a phenomenal job. And she's actually on the OYV team now. She did an awesome job at speaking about and empowering women and who work and things like that, and kind of finding your purpose. And this year in September we had a panel.
Nice.
Most of whom were moms and who had their own businesses, and they were able to speak on starting their business from the ground up, and they've had lasting businesses for years now.
Good.
And so I got a lot of positive feedback, and when we ended the panel discussion and it was time for everybody to start speaking, it was like the room was filled with so much noise because everybody was talking.
That's good.
That was amazing to me, just to be able to watch that and hear all that noise. It sounded like thunder. But it was good because I know that people were exchanging information and talking and giving out resources and things like this. So it was really, really nice to see.
Okay, good. And I must ask, how was the feedback from your family with your organization?
My husband's line is, I don't care what you do, just don't get on my nerves. No, I'm just kidding. That's really his line, because I talk his head off, because I want to, anything that comes to my head, he really is my go-to person. I'm a visionary. So when I think of something, I want to do it. And he's like, no, wait, you need to wait. Wait, put it on the back burner. There's another year. You can plan for that. And so I really made sure to run things past him. At first, when I started, it felt like it was a hurt piece to me. I felt like, why you're not on board with me? But as I started to grow and I started to realize you can't just throw out anything because you want to give out a quality product. You want to give out a quality service. You have to plan, and the time will come where it's appropriate to stick that in there. So what I do take his feedback, I don't take it for granted at all. I don't take it lightly when I have discussions with him, and he really does give his feedback to me. My kids, they just know, like, when I'm getting ready, they're like, you going to an event? And I'm like, yes. And sometimes I'll take my daughter, she's 9 going on 10, and she's actually started her own nonprofit where she wants to give out food to the homeless and things like that. So she's done that a few times. And I want to start my son with his own business next year, so that he can start knowing the value of money and saving money. Because right now it's like, but mom, you got that card that you swipe, right? Don't you have the thing that you could, And I'm like, yes, that's not how it works. So I want to start teaching him the value of money and how to save and grow. And so I want to help him start a little candy business, or ices or something like that on the porch, just so he can get a feel for that. But they are supportive. They've seen me in action. They've seen me doing vending events. They've seen me, putting up curtains and drapes and all these things. And they've, seen me interact with people. And my son actually came. I missed his first football game because it happened to fall on the day of the Career Moms event. And so he was all right. His dad went, of course, and he brought him afterwards to the event while it was still going on. and he was able to see what I was doing. And so now when I say the word event, he's like, okay, Mom, have a good time. Like when I told him I had to come here for an interview for, you know, an event, I always have to say event. And he's like, okay, Mom, I'll see you tomorrow. You know, he's like, yeah, go ahead, Mom, I know, go. So, you know, I think we take for granted that kids are smarter than we think. And they know, when they know you have to go to work, they understand that. So just kind of letting them know, you know, when I get back, we'll have our time, you know, and kind of spending that time before it's time to go. So yeah, they're coming around.
Good. Yeah, they do know.
Yes.
They definitely know more than you think.
Yeah.
That's good. And that's good that your kids and your husband are supportive and they understand.
Right.
That's good, because you probably don't have too many people that have that.
Yeah.
And they're supportive. So that's good. You want it to be supportive and understanding.
Right.
So good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. So tell me, what has been the most rewarding takeaway with you doing your business?
The most rewarding takeaway is when I put up something, like I said earlier, that is so motivational and so touching that the comments, when I see the comments just coming, and it's like, wow, I really needed that right now.
Good.
And I don't just like to just say stuff for no reason. You know, some people will just post stuff just because. I needed to make sense. I needed to, a lot of the times when I'm posting something, I'm talking to myself. I'm encouraging myself. So if I'll post like a motivational video or something like that, it's because I needed to. And a lot of the times somebody will say to me, I needed that. Like even if I'm going through, you know, there was some hardship in my family a couple of months ago. We had a loss in our family, and I posted, thank you. And I posted a video, and trying to motivate myself and, you know, encouraging other people as well. And it was like 5 people in my inbox, like, oh my gosh, like I needed to hear that. And so those are the things that I try to make sure that it's heartfelt, and I try to make sure that it means something. So I just don't want to, you know, because sometimes you just start sounding like a broken record, you know, when you're not paying attention and where you're not tuning into your audience, you're not tuning into the people who are watching you and, you know, who are needing what you're saying. So
that's good to know. I think that a lot of times people are not aware, like you said, they're not aware of what they're posting, and that speaks volumes that you're actually posting to empower yourself, but you're actually empowering your audience, and I think that's a big deal, because you don't have that too often. Everyone's head is wrapped into how many likes do I have, how many views do I have, that they're not thinking about the quality of what they're posting. So that's good, and I think that's a great push for you and your business.
Like there are, like I have started this thing called Morning Inspirations, right? And sometimes I'll go a week or 2 without posting it. And in my head, I'm like, oh, you know, I wonder if people are like are wondering why I'm not posting. And it's because I don't have anything to say right now. You know, I don't want to just sit and just start talking and blabbing. And you're just, and it's going over your head, and it's not making, it doesn't matter. And it's in those times where I'm not necessarily going through something, but I just feel, you know, I'm very tuned into, you know, the spiritual realm, and I'm not going to go there with religion and all that stuff, but you kind of feel it. You kind of feel that you need something, or you kind of feel that somebody is going through something, and you know what it is that you need to say. And so those are the times I wait. So there will be times when I haven't posted a video or a motivational video in a while, because I know that when it's time, it's going to happen, and it's going to be something that people need at that moment.
So is there any other services or resources that you offer with your organization?
So I am starting a podcast in February. It's called The Black Family Can Talk. And so I want to be able to bring on guests who want to speak about different topics. But the mission of the podcast is to delve into those taboo conversations that sometimes Black families just don't address. And I know for myself, growing up, there was some things that we just did not talk about, like sex, and, you know, it just, what's that? You know, it's bad.
What do you know about that?
It's bad, and don't do it. That's it. So I want to just be able to break those communication barriers within families so that those conversations can happen honestly and in a healthy way. So that's something that we're starting in February as well. So I'm you know, looking for different guests who would like to come on and, you know, speak about different topics, because there's so much out there that isn't addressed in family. And, you know, not just bad things, you know, just things like that you want your kids to know before they go out into the world, like finances and debt and credit, and, you know, how to raise your own family and generational curses that have gone on and things like that. So those are the types of conversations that I'd like to have and be able to power through with the guests that come on.
Okay, and will it just be you that's running the podcast, or will you have someone be a co-host, or how would that work?
For now, it'll just be me. And so I'll have guests who want to come on. Eventually, maybe somebody that's come on the show or somebody that's listened to a few episodes will like to say, hey, you know, I would like to be a co-host in that. So it's something that I'm open to.
Okay, all right. And then for the podcast, would you be open to someone providing you topics to talk about, or is it strictly just you saying, I think these are important?
No, absolutely. So there's a list of topics that I've thought about. But absolutely, if people want to write in or DM or say, hey, you know, is this something that you can touch on in your podcast on one episode, that's absolutely fine. I can't think of everything, and I haven't gone through every situation. So that's definitely something that I would like, is for people to be able to give me recommendations for things that they would want to hear.
Okay.
Definitely.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing that. I'm sure the viewers are too. Tell me more about partnerships. Do you have any specific partnerships with your organization in regards to your resources, your events, your services?
Not quite yet. There are some things that I have been trying to work on as far as that's concerned. So I have my business consultant, Rashawn Howard, and he has his business, and he's there for me to speak to, and I can definitely refer other people who want to start their business to him. So that's one partnership that I have. But I think I've been trying to get OIV on its feet. And so I have been in talks with other people who are like, you know, let's collaborate and let's do this event together. Oh, and there's another organization called Non-Tradish. They have definitely, the organization started recently, and they, you know, encourage and empower women who are non-traditional students who want to go back to school. And they're another organization that has been around, and I've actually recommended one or two people to go to them as well. So yeah, kind of starting off slow with building those partnerships, because all connections aren't good connections. And so I try to just, you know, slow walk that part of things. But there are organizations that I've known for the past couple of years who have been supportive and shared posts, and I shared theirs and things like that. Like yours. I love Boss Up Meg. So I just, you know, I try to just make sure that I'm making quality connections before, you know, we go further into something else. So.
Good. I think that's important to have quality. I think when you have quality connections and relationships, it spills over to quality business. So that's good. Good. So I know that you do your social work as your bread and butter, your 9 to 5. And then you have your organization. Is there anything else that you offer outside of those two things? Is there anything else that maybe our viewers don't know or your followers don't know that could be helpful for them that you offer?
Well, so I recently started event planning. Event planning and decor. And so I've done a few of those, and I have a few things lined up for the beginning of the year. And, you know, just kind of doing... That's something that I've loved. I always want to make stuff pretty. And so that's something that I'm really taking into consideration, like really moving forward with as a real thing. And so I've done a few things already. And it's out there, but you know, it's kind of like if I have an event, then I'll post it, but I don't push it too much, because I want to get the knowledge base behind it. I want to get the business behind it. And so, I'm definitely, working on getting into a mentorship program and things like that for that.
Okay. And I know you say you like for things to look pretty. Is there any other driving force that got you to say, okay, I really kind of want to go ahead and look into event planning?
So, yes. And her name is Deborah.
Oh, Deborah!
Yes, Deborah! Yes. Yes. Deborah is awesome. I went to her Premier Planners Experience conference in September, and it just was not what I was expecting. And I mean, it was just, it was phenomenal.
Good.
She talks a lot about the business behind event planning. And so when you think about event planning, you think about decor, right? So you like, okay, I can do that. I can call whoever to bring this here, and I can get drapes, and I can get tablecloths, and there is so much more behind that. There are connections that need to be made with other vendors. There is pricing involved. There is so many levels to it. Like I was like, I'm gonna make balloons. Yep, I'm gonna make flowers. I'm gonna do drapes. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not. You're gonna calm down and you're gonna do one of these things. So that's why I like that, because the conference was inspiring and it taught many different things, but it makes you realize that no, I'm not about to do all of these things. I cannot. So really looking forward to building more connections with her and her platform and things like that. I like I said, I love decorating. It is just I love walking into a room. It's like an adrenaline rush. And so I've done the decorating for the Career Moms, and people are like, how do you do that before? And you change you did your makeup too? Yes, because I'm not tired. I love walking into a room and seeing nothing, ripping open boxes, and like, let's go. This is what we're gonna make it look like. So that's something that I'm looking forward to really diving into in 2020.
Okay. Yeah. Well, just from you talking, I could tell that you have that passion for it. That's right. So I'm glad that I asked. Yeah. Good. Well, you know what, Vonee? Thank you so much for sharing everything about your business and your event planning specialty. It was great to have you in the Boss Lounge. I greatly appreciate you coming in with me. How can our viewers find and follow you on social media? Okay,
so on Instagram and Facebook, we are at OYV Empowerment Co. And our website is www.oyvempowerment.org. So you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, as well as online.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing, and I hope to have you again in the Boss Lounge.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, it was great. It's long overdue, but I'm glad that we got you here.
Glad to be here.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, viewers, thank you for tuning in today. Until next time, boss up and be blessed.